Okay. So we're going to be doing stuff with file manipulation today. And I'm continuing to march through some of the material that we had in chapter 3 of the notes. Okay. Let's start with working with sort. We did work with sort already, but I think it might be helpful for us to do that again. Okay, so I'm going to start by opening up a terminal window, as I usually do. Okay, so I'm going to System Tools, LX Terminal. I'll make it bigger, the font, so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Okay, and then I have a directory set aside for this class, ENR200, right? And I look to see what's in there. Not much in there right now. Okay, and so I would like to work with the sort command, which we worked with a little bit already, and I want to explore what it does a little bit more. Okay, so what's in stuff? I don't even remember what's in there. Stuff, what's in there? Stuff. Okay, so yeah, that's right. That's the thing we're using with grep. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone and make another file. I'm going to use Featherpad to make something else. So I invite you to do the same thing that I'm doing here, because it's going to be easier for you if you have the same setup with the examples that we look at. Okay, so I have my Featherpad set up. I have it set up so that I have the line numbers marked on the side. You can do that by going to Options. Okay, I think that's where it is, under Preferences, if you want. Okay. Is that where it was? I think that's where it was. No.
It might be under
Text. Yes, always show lines numbers. Thank you. Always show line numbers. Okay, that's when you're trying to debug things. It's nice to know what the lines are that may be problematic. You might be told. Okay, so I have it set up that way. Okay.
Control L just brings them up and down again.
Control L.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so if you don't want to have them there all the time, Control L. Control L. Okay, that's a temporary thing, but I have mine set, so that doesn't work for me. That's okay. So thank you. All right. So let's start putting some words in here. I'm going to put a bunch of names in here. So let's go with Mary Smith. Okay. Mary Ann Smith. Mary Ann Gomez. Okay. Mary Ann Gomez. Mary Jones. Okay. Mary Jones. Mar Inez Smith. Okay. And now one more. Okay. Mary Smith. So you notice I have a space at the beginning there. Okay, right? Let's just see what happens here. I'm going to save this as, I'm going to call this names. Okay. So it's a file called names, and I would like to sort this. It only has 8 lines, and I'm going to put it over here so I see what the original looks like. I'm going to resize my window so I can look at these things side by side. Okay, now I'm going to do clear. Got my screen set up, and I want to do sort. So sort, and the file name is names. Okay. Wait a minute, where is this? Oh, I must have not saved it, so when I saved it, I didn't pay attention to where I put it. Okay, it's probably in my home directory. Sorry, that was me screwing up. Let's put this in like that, okay. Let me see. MV, where is it? If it's in my home directory, I'll just say tilde, meaning home, and then find names. There it is. I want to move it here. So not changing the name of it, moving it from my home directory to this location, and there it is. Okay, so let me do cat names. Sure enough, there it is. Okay, great. Okay, so now we've got it, and I want to do sort names. Okay, so let's see what we get. All right. So you know that sort is going to sort in alphabetical order, right? Okay. What is it sorting?
The first character of each line.
Okay, so it's going, what is the chunk that it sorts? Like, it sorts a whole bunch of what chunks of the file? the lines, right? It's going line by line, right? Okay, and so when we look at this, what can you determine from the default on how the sort is done? Because there are different ways that you could do it. Even if you say you're sorting in alphabetical order, what do you see from this that happens to be true? Do you detect anything from the lines that you see here? Yes, Isaac.
The space makes something come before another thing. It acts like it's like higher than A almost.
Okay. Yep. All right. What else? Yes, Anthony. Lowercase comes before uppercase, and space comes before the other letters, right? Okay. What else do we know? I gotta open a dash comes after space. Yeah. Okay. Let me go in here and get this file again because I messed up. Here we go. Names. Okay. So what would happen if we took Mary Ann Smith and put in like this? Mary Ann Smith, like that. Save that.
We would go after.
We go after?
We'd go before.
Yep. Okay. So, okay. Yep. All right. Now, what if instead of that space for Mary Smith, we have in here 0 Mary Smith, and then 4 Mary Smith, and then star Mary Smith, and ampersand Mary Smith. Let's try adding those lines, okay? Save. Sort the names. Okay, now it's a little bit bigger, so I gotta go down like that. Okay, now what do you think about the alphabetizing?
Numbers come first.
Numbers come first. Then what?
Character. Space.
Yes, characters, okay. Do they?
No, so numbers, and then special characters, and then letters.
Okay, well, the special characters, right? If you look at the first character here, we got the numbers, right?
Right.
Okay, well, the special characters as the first, though, are down here.
Right, that's because there's just other names, but they're coming out, like the Mary Smiths. Right, it goes numbers, special characters, and then actual characters. Numbers, characters, special characters.
Just however the computer wants it to be, I guess.
Yeah, why did it come out like that? Okay, I think I'm going to change all the last names to Smith because I feel like we need to do a little bit more comparing here, okay? Mary Smith. Smith. Well, that one's Mary Smith as well. It's the same, right? So we can we can leave that one in there and see what happens. Smith, okay. Right? Save. Okay. Okay, so now what? Numbers first?
Yeah.
Okay.
First capital letters, lowercase. Yes, lowercase letters, special characters.
Okay. So capital letters before lowercase then. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Which one? What? But that Mary Smith here comes before these Mary Smiths down here.
Oh,
Those are repeats, I think.
Those are.
Maybe because it's repeats?
I mean, there are two lines in here that are exactly the same, right? Line 1 and line 6 are the same, right? Okay, let's go back in here and change this one to lowercase. And this one. This one. Save. Down here. Repeat. So what's the order?
Numbers.
Numbers first. Yes, we got that. Okay, but then is it lowercase or uppercase that comes next?
Lowercase.
Lowercase, right? Yeah.
And then would it, is it because there's more characters upper? Is that why they're sorted first?
It doesn't organize.
It's just the way it's organized. You know, like if, let me just check something. I want to see if it has to do with ASCII order. It doesn't actually. It doesn't. No, it's not an ASCII order, right?
No.
I think it's arbitrary. I think it's just,
I think it's like based off of like, if they're identical sides to the caps, then they base it off some of the other words. But if it's, the other words are identical too, then they base it off of the
mm-hmm.
But then it's like pairs last.
Okay. Okay, so there are some other things that you can do, though, with the sort, okay? So, for example, let's put together, I mean, you can do something like this. For example, we have a couple lines here that are the same length. If you go like this, sort names, and you do WC, you see that there's 13 lines, right? We can see that from the file. But if you do sort names, sort dash U names, and then do WC, then it's 11 because there are some repeated lines. Okay.
What did you do?
Unique. If there are any duplicates, it removes the extras. Okay, which is handy to be able to do sometimes, right? Okay, another thing we can do is yeah, I think I'm going to put something else in here. You can sort, I mean, this will sort things in alphabetical order, but there are other ways that you could sort things. So, for example, let's say that we put together a file. Let's do a new file here, file new, okay? And then in here we just put numbers in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Okay, so we have the 10 numbers, one on each line, and we'll save this to, I have to make sure I save it in the right directory, okay? This is called numbers, right? Or I'll call it 10 numbers, actually. 10 numbers. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I can do the following. I mean, I have this list of 10 numbers. They're all just in a row, right? But let's say I would like to randomize them. I can use the -R option, and then it, whoops, it gave it to names. Sorry, I want to do numbers. 10 numbers, numbers. Okay, and then it will just give them to me in random order. Okay, and that's a useful thing to be able to do sometimes. Okay, just to randomize a list. Okay. So there's more that we can do with sort, and we will be using it with other things as well. But I would like to talk about some other stuff too. One of the things I would like to be able to do now is have you guys download a file that you should be able to see it on Canvas. So if you go into Canvas for the class in the browser, okay, and you go to modules, let's see if I can see it in here. It should be visible. Go to modules, and then if you look under course resources, I've reorganized this a little bit. I've removed the quiz solutions and I put them down here in another category, okay? Just so you know, but course resources here, you see how it says contacts data file? I would like you to download that, okay? And when you do, download, download, download. Oops, mine just opened. I don't want to open it. I want to download it right there. Okay? So you should have it downloaded to your desktop now, contacts.csv. Does everybody have that now? You guys good? Okay. So what you want to do now is move it into your ENR210 directory. So MV, okay, it's on the desktop. Contacts, you can use tab complete to move it, and you can just call it that, okay? Put it here in your directory that you're working in. We don't need this anymore, so I'll shrink it down, okay? So let's just do more on this file, contacts.csv. When we do that, you're going to see that it's a whole bunch of names and addresses. Okay, so I want to talk to you about how this file is structured. First of all, you can see it, right? Because it's raw text. It's not encrypted. It's not something you have to load. It's not a Word document or anything like that. It's just set up like this. Strictly speaking, just ASCII, okay? Now, on every line is a different record, okay? What do you see here? You see somebody's name, first and last name, right? Then a comma. Then there's a street address, okay? And then after that is a country name. So I used the website generatedata.com to create this file. I went in and I said, give me 100 names. Give me 100 addresses, give me 100 countries, and then I just put it all together into this file, okay? Now, you don't see cities. I didn't do that. I just basically set it up like this so it has enough data in it, though, to be useful. So the type of file that this is a CSV file, and you probably know from having worked with spreadsheets before that you can download a file and we'll have that extension. You can download it as a CSV. It means comma-separated values, right? Comma-separated values. And you can use LibreCalc, or you can use Excel, or you can use Google Sheets to work with this, right? And you can load this into any of those spreadsheet type applications as well, right? And you can put it in there, and the cells will populate correctly. The idea being that on a given line, you have these things called fields, okay? And you put one item, a field, it contains a single item. So for example, this first thing here, I have, bless you, I have Alec Conley, right? Alec Conley is, if I loaded this into a spreadsheet, that would go into the first cell, right? And then immediately to the right of it would go this address, okay? And then immediately to the right of that, in the third cell, would go the country Nigeria, right? And the reason is because the field separator is a comma. Okay, that is the default, and that is what, if you tell a spreadsheet program that the thing you're loading in is a CSV file, it can detect it by the extension. It's going to know that that's what you want to use as a field separator. That allows you to have spaces in fields, right? You can see that that's the case in some of these. Now, did you notice that there are some quote marks in here? Not every line contains quote marks, but some do. Can you figure out why? Yes.
Because the ones with quotes have typically a PO box or a longer address that has the spaces in between.
That is not the reason why. Yes.
You can use commas without separating the boxes.
Yes. It's because sometimes you want to put a comma in the field, okay? And yet, if that's the field separator, how are you supposed to do that, right? You have to have some way to be able to include a comma without it being used as a field separator. So if you look at the lines that have the quotation marks around them, I think it's typically going to be in the address part, right? The ones that have the quotes contain at least one comma. Okay, and so that is something that is used to detect that. So here's one right here. Okay. All right. So this is how you do this, and then if we want to work with this, we can do this. We can sort these things. Let me see if I can find my notes for this. Sorting. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at, I'm going to open up another window here. so we can look at something else at the same time. Okay, LX terminal. I have another one over here. Okay, I'm going to make this narrower now because we've looked at this. Okay, I have an idea what's going on over here. Then I go to this one. I want to do man sort. Okay, now you know when you use man, the manual, right? What ends up happening is the window that you're working in, the man takes over the whole window, right? Okay, so we can look at the different options that are available for sort. For example, ignoring leading blanks. Okay, dictionary order, ignore case. All right, that means that you don't make a distinction between upper and lower case. That's something you can do. All right, random sort, I mentioned that one already. Reverse sort. Okay, that's useful as well. Okay. And then there was some other ones I wanted to talk about. Let's see if I can find this. K, okay. Be a key, merge, stable. Okay. Okay, so when we sort, you can specify how you want the sort to be performed. Okay, like for example, if you have something that's got comma-separated values like this, you're going to have to do a couple of things. One is you're going to have to put in what the separator is. Okay, so let me go back to here and quit out of this. I'm going to go into my ENR210 directory. Okay, and then if we work with sort here, sort. Okay, and what is this called? It's called contacts, right? But then I want to put a key in. Let's put the key in. The thing that I'm using, this is a separator. My field separator is going to be a comma. Okay? And the field that I want to use to separate is the first one. Okay, that's how I want to alphabetize this. Okay, I want to do it based on my first field. Let me do this down here. Okay, let's try that now. And then the name of the file is contacts, right? So you should see when you do that, I'll get the command back again, okay? Ordinarily when you sort, the separator is a space, okay? But here, because we have comma separated fields, we want to use the comma as the field separator, okay? And then the thing we're going to sort on is the first column, and that's where the dash K comes in. Okay, column number 1, it just looks and will alphabetize the whole thing or sort the whole thing based on that first field. Okay, now if we want to change that, let's say we want to sort on the third field, the country. Okay, then you just change K to 3. See what comes out when we do that. Okay, yeah, that worked, right? So this is pretty useful to be able to do. Okay, because sometimes you do want to sort on a different field, not just have it be on the first letter. All right. Okay, so that is sort. Now, there are other things that you can do with it, which is nice, but we're just going to leave that for now. Okay. Now, let's look at how many lines there are in this contacts file. Okay, there's 99 lines. And let's say we'd like to take that and break it up into smaller files. Okay, there's a way that we can use that using a command called split. Okay, so split, I'm gonna come over here and quit out of this, and we're gonna do man split. I think it's good to look at the man page, okay? It takes pieces of a file and breaks it up into chunks, and there's a way that you can do, there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. One is you can specify how many chunks you want to break it up into, okay? And then from there, it's going to break it up into chunks of even sizes, okay? So let's start with that one. We say use n as the thing you want to use as a number of chunks, and let's say I want to break this up into 10 chunks, okay? 10 chunks, contacts.csv. That's all I'm going to do for now, okay? So I do that, and I just get the prompt back again. I say, okay, what happened? All right, so let's do an ls and find out what's in the directory now. Okay. So do you see some things that weren't there before? Okay, so what we have here, you should see are a bunch of files that start with X, okay? So if you don't say otherwise, this is what it does. Like, you could tell it what you wanted to call those files, but if you don't say, it just assumes you want to call them X and that each chunk is going to get an extension that consists of letters, 2 letters, okay? So they go AA, AB, AC, and so forth, all right? So if we look at we do ls x star, because we want to look at all the files that could start with X, and we want to count how many there are. Okay, there are 10 of them, right? Like, sorry, I should have done this other way. So if I do cat xaa, okay, you'll see that it gave me a chunk. Okay, yours probably looks like this too, where I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines, but then I also have part of a line here, okay, which is a little odd, okay? Like, it broke off in the middle of a line, and that's because I just told it how many chunks I wanted. So it's going through and breaking it up by character, okay, not by line. This is what happens when you do chunks that way. That's how it's going to do it, okay? Now, if you want to specify a certain number of lines instead, okay, let's do remove X star to get rid of all those, okay? Then this is how you do it. You do split. Let's say I want lines, okay? So this is L-L, okay? The number of lines I want in a file, let's say I would like to put 9 lines in each file, okay? Contacts.csv, okay? So there we go. And then I remember we deleted the X files that were there before, and so we now have some more. In fact, we have more of them now, right? Because there were 99 lines in the original file, we expect to have 11 of these things, right? So if now this time if I cat xaa, then it's going to give me the thing that has 9 lines, okay? So, you know, it depends on the kind of file you're working with, right? So, if it's records like this, contacts, it makes sense to do it line by line, okay? Okay, now if we want to do other things like this split option thing here, okay, we can do something like build the extensions using digits. So I'm gonna remove all the files that have X in them, okay, and I'm gonna go get my split command back, and this time, oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Do the commas count towards the character count?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Okay. Find out and let me know, okay? So, I mean, I would think they would, because they are characters in there, and they're part of the file, so probably they do, yeah. Okay, so let's say we want to instead use digits to build extensions, okay? Then we have a -D flag in there, okay? And now when I look to see what we got here, I have, instead of extensions of A, B, and so forth, now I have extensions of 01, 01, 02, and so forth, okay? So you can change, you can say that you want to have extensions that are numeric. You can say that you want them to be 3 digits long, 1 digit long. You can say you want to start with number 52 or whatever. It doesn't have to start with 0, right? But you can specify all of these things. You can also, let's see, you should be able to change the prefix. That is, what are you going to paste onto the front of it, okay, of the file. Like the default is X, but you could put in something like sublists, something like that, okay? If I do that, and then I look to see what I have in my directory, I now have these things called sublists 00 through 010, or through 10, okay? So that gives you control over what you call those chunks, okay? Which is also very useful. So this is a nice program to be able to use to be able to split up a given data file into a whole bunch of different pieces, okay? You guys have any other questions on this one? I think this is pretty straightforward. Split, okay? It does pretty much what you think it should do. All right. I am going to remove these sublists, RM sublists, star, and I'm going to do RMX star. So now we're back to just the stuff that we had before, okay? All right. Now I want to talk to you about cut. Okay, cut is the next thing. Yep,
Just a useful thing.
yep,
For this, the question he asked me was
yeah.
why they, or if there was any way to have them come out as CSV files. And you're able to type in dash dash additional suffix equals, and then double quotes, whatever you want, like the dot extension, dot CSV.
I didn't know that. So this is another, okay, would you mind telling me what this is so I can write it on the board? Or do you want to write it on the board? Sorry?
I can type it in the terminal.
Sure. Okay, you want to type it here?
Yeah.
Right there?
So if you do the split contacts dot dash dash or dot CSV, you can do dash dash additional suffix equals. I'm putting in quotes so that bash doesn't do anything with the period. And then do that, and then if you do ls, it'll have
Okay.
the dot CSV.
Oh, okay. So this
Now,
is,
this is without it actually splitting it into files.
Okay.
Like if I
you
did
just
the
split it into one file then, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So if I did the dash 10 or what was it? What was this? Oh, whoops.
The number? 10,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then it would be in like that.
Okay.
And then it'll.
I'll make this larger because that particular terminal is small. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see it. Control Shift plus. Okay, so the command that he's talking about is. Too bad I have to type additional suffix because that's so long, but that's okay. So here's the command right here.
If you AD, you can tab it.
That's true. Okay, that's good to know too. So the tab complete works even on flags like that. That's nice to know. Okay, so that's also useful. So it's not just the prefix part that you have control over, it's the suffix. Excellent. Okay, let me write that one down because I want to know about that too. Split dash n10 contacts dot CSV dash dash additional suffix equals CSV. Great, thank you. Okay. All right, so if we do, yeah, okay, we'll go forward with that then. Okay, so I want to talk to you about cut now, okay, because cut is another command that is a useful thing for manipulating files. So if we go in here and we look at man cut, okay, it removes sections from each line of a file. Okay, sometimes you want to be able to remove things. So let's say we go back here to our directory where we have this contacts file. Okay, let's say we want to remove the names. Okay, like the names is the first field. Let's go back here again. And you remember that that's the first field right here. Okay, let's say I just want to have those. Okay, just the names. So I do cut, okay, dash D. Now the default delimiter is a tab for this command. I don't know why, but it is a tab. And remember, this file that we have here, the thing that separates the fields is commas. So we are going to want to use comma here. So we use the single quote, comma, single quote, because that says, okay, that's our delimiter, right? The field that we're interested in is the first one, okay? And let's say we're going to take contacts.csv and see what happens. Okay, so it pulls out all the names, which is kind of useful as well. Let's say you have this big grid of stuff and you only want some of it, all right? So it can take that out. Let's see what happens if we take out, let's say I want to get one, I want to try this. I haven't tried this before. Let's say 1 and 3. What will happen? Okay, so it does try to take, oh, comma, oh, okay. So cut seems to not take into, it seems to be using the comma for everything, this is going to be a problem, right? Because we have commas spread throughout this file. It's not honoring the fields. It's not honoring them. That's interesting. I didn't know the cut behaved like that. Okay, that's going to be a problem. Okay, because you see in some of the lines, it did actually go to the third field and pull it out, right? But then some of the ones that contained commas embedded in a string that's surrounded by quotes, it totally ignored that. Okay, so that's a limitation of cut. I did not know. Okay, that's good to know. So use it with caution then, I would say. All right, now there's another command I would like to talk to you about, and that is paste. So we're going to need to create a couple more files to do that. Okay, so we have this file called 10 numbers. Let's open up let's make a new file here. And this one we're going to put in names. Okay, so I'm going to put in Buzz and let's see, Ace, Lulu, let's see, Spike, Jack, let's see, Fifi, Trixie, and let's see, Skip, Jock, and Bud. Okay, 10 names. We'll call this 10 names. Save as. Okay, this is an ENR 200. This is going to be called 10 names. 10 names. Okay. One more we're going to make. New. Same directory. Okay, let's put some colors in. Yellow, red, blue, brown, white, orange, black, let's see, purple, pink, missing green. Okay. Save as, make sure it goes in the right place. Okay. I'm going to call this 10 colors. 10 colors. Okay. So now we have 3 files. And if you see that each of them basically contains a column, right? So let's take these files now. Okay, I'm going to go down in here and do ls just to make sure we got them all. There they are. Okay, I'm going to remove these X files with the CSV just to keep things like this. Names? Sure. Okay, 10 names right here. You can put whatever names you like in there. I just just threw some in. Okay. Should probably go like that. Bud. I'll save. Okay, great. So let's just do ls word count 10 star. Okay, so each of them has 10 lines, right? That's what we want. Okay, now to use paste, what we can do is take each of these files. Let's say we'll take 10 names. Well, yeah, 10. No, let's do 10 numbers first. 10 numbers. Okay, and I can do tab complete, 10 names, and then 10 colors. Okay, and I put them all together, and then hit enter and see what happens when we do this. Okay, so paste just puts them together like that. Okay, lays the files side by side. Okay, column, column, column. This is very useful to be able to do sometimes, right? All right, now let's talk about other ways that you might want to put things together. Okay, so let's say we do paste like this, -s, and we put in the same things again, 10 numbers, 10 names, and 10 colors. Okay? So then we get the horizontal pasting. Okay, again, useful, right? Sometimes that might be what you want to do. Now, what I have not looked into but just occurred to me is what happens if you want to put things together that aren't all the same size, because these are all the 10 lines, right? So let's see what happens. Let me add something in here. I'll put in, I don't know what I'm gonna put in, huh?
Kevin.
Kevin, oh, yeah, that. Yeah, it goes so well with all the other names, right? Okay, all right. Okay, so we got Kevin in there, all right, and then let's see what happens if we do paste. I'm gonna go back up here to the original paste. Okay, that's what happens, okay? And then what happens if we do paste with the S? Okay, it basically does the right thing, okay? It just will extend out with blanks as needed, which is pretty good. I wondered if it would pad, like if it would repeat things, like repeat the 10 or repeat the green, but no, it just puts them in as blanks. Okay, so that's pretty good. Okay, now the delimiter for paste, I'm going to look back up here and look at that. So man paste. Paste, it is assumes again that you have tabs, right? Let's say we want to have something else. Oh no, the separated by tabs, I'm sorry. What happens if you want to have a different delimiter? Delimiters. Okay. Okay, you can use a different delimiter. Okay. Like that, and the delimiter is a tab right now, right? So let's see, we do paste dash D, and we put in comma, okay? 10 numbers, 10 names, 10 colors. Okay, then you end up with a comma-separated set of comma-separated values, right? Which is pretty nice. Okay, you can put them in here. 10 sets. Okay, .csv. Okay, it's not 10, it's now 11 for some things, but you know what I mean. Cat 10 sets CSV. So this is another way you can create a CSV file. Okay. Okay. All right, so I think that's sort, split, cut, and paste. You have at least a beginning grasp of how to use these things. There is an assignment in Canvas. I want to just look at this now. I think you can see it now. I want to make sure that we've talked about everything that you would need to be able to do the okay, so there's a spreadsheet that you will be able to see, okay, and it looks like it's comma separated values. Okay, there we go, right there. Okay, you're going to use that. Okay, you're going to use the sort command along with the K option, the T option, the N option to design a command that sorts the file according to the third column. And then you're going to want to enter that. The assignment is submitted through a text entry box. Okay, so you just type directly into Canvas to be able to submit your assignment. Okay, and then you modify that. If the columns are separated by tabs instead of commas, how would you modify your command to sort the file? Okay, and then there's the last thing is a find command that will search through your computer and print out the names of all the files that are larger than 1 gigabyte. Okay, so I think now that we've talked about these things, you should be able to do this assignment. Now this last thing is just to try something. You don't have to submit anything for that, okay? So you guys have any questions on this assignment? This is due in a week, okay? I don't think it'll take, yes?
What is the dash N?
Dash N, good question. Okay, there's N, dash N option for sort. Okay, let's go look at that. What does it do? Man sort. Okay, numeric sort. because what you have there is numbers, okay? It sorts them in a different way from alphabetical, okay? So you're going to have to, like, leading zeros mean something different, okay? So you're going to have to read about that to understand it, okay? So you will have to do a little bit of investigating. This isn't going to be totally easy to do, okay? But it shouldn't be difficult overall, okay? So this assignment is due at class time 1 week from today, okay? Oops, I got to change that thing there. February 4th, is that correct? Let me make sure I put this up correctly. Yeah, that's correct. Let me just fix this. I got to make it is due, and you can't submit it late. I got to fix this one until 12:30. p.m. There we go. Save. There we go. Okay. All right. The other thing that I wanted to tell you is that we are going to have a quiz on Thursday. Let me just add this in here. It'll be at the end of class, and it'll be based on the stuff that we did today and also the stuff that we did last time. It'll be a short quiz, shorter than the last quiz. This is going to be quiz 3. Okay, and it will be due Thursday at 2 p.m. Oops. And I don't know the number of points yet because I haven't made the quiz yet, but let me just say nominally it's 10. Hold it. 10. Can't do that. More options. It's not going to be an online quiz. It's going to be on paper, in class, 10. There we go. Okay. All right. So the rest of the time in class, what I'd like to talk to you about now is being able to start writing scripts. We already looked at the stopwatch script last time, and I wanted to talk to you about something else that we can do. Let's get this together here. Here we go. Okay, so one of the things that you can do is there's a command called upower. Okay, so let's look at what that does. Man upower. Okay. It lets you know, it says it connects to a daemon, which is a process that kind of runs independently and does stuff in the background. It prints a line every time a power source, let's see, wherever power source is used. Okay, so the thing that we were interested in knowing about is the battery. So my battery right now is at 100%. When I click on the little battery icon down at the bottom, I see that, okay, fully charged. But I want to do upower -D, okay, and it just shows me what's going on with my battery. Mostly that's what it is, okay. Now, when I look at this, I'm going to do upower -D more. Okay, and it tells me I see that I have a battery. It's because I have an Asus laptop, right? Right now my battery is fully charged. Okay, that's great. But let's say I'd like to know what it is. Okay, like what percent of the battery am I using? I'm going to unplug mine because I wanted to start doing other things. Okay. So if I'm doing this upower, okay, the next thing I can do is I can grep for percentage because I'd like to know how much I'm using actually. Okay, so mine is 100%. Yours is going to be something else probably, all right? And that's fine because it appears twice. This is just telling me what the charge is on my battery, right? I don't really need to see it twice, so I can sort this output. Okay, so you can take sort. It doesn't have to be a file. It can be whatever is fed into it. Okay, so if I send it those 2 lines of output, it will sort them. Okay, and it will, if I use U as an option, it will just give me the unique sort, which is just the one thing. Okay, one line. Okay, so sort is a useful way to get rid of redundancies. Okay, you can stream into it whatever the output is of some other program like this grep program, okay? And so now I see it's telling me the percentage on my battery is 100%, which is great, okay? Now, I would like to not have to always type this, okay? Let's say I want to know what my battery life is, okay, by typing something a little shorter, okay? So we can make a command. This is a chance for us to make a command. And this is how we can do it. We can take, we can do echo. Actually, I'm going to go back and get this back, and then I'm going to go to the front of it, okay? I got the command back. I'm going to type echo, okay, and then single quote, okay? To set, I'm going to use single quotes to protect that double quote percentage there. Okay, so I'm enclosing it in single quotes, and then I'm going to send the output of this echo, which is just this command, to a file that I haven't made yet, okay, but it's going to be created by my using this and called batt. Okay, so I did that. And then if I do cat bat, there it is. Okay, that's what I would type, right? If I wanted to know what the life is on my battery, I could just type batt, right? But in order for me to do that, I'm going to have to turn this file called batt into an executable file, okay, which I can do using chmod, okay. I just say make it executable for everybody, okay. You don't have to put, this is the same as putting a plus x, just plus x means it'll be executable for all users, batt, okay. And in fact, I can check that. Okay, so now the X is on, turned on, the X bit is turned on for each of these, right? The X slot. Okay, so now we can execute it, right? Okay, but it didn't work. Okay, do you guys remember why? Because we worked with the stopwatch last week. Does anybody remember what we have to do?
You have to put the directory it's in.
Yes, you have to say where it is. You can't just type it like that, okay? You have to put where it is. So we know where it is, like it's right here in this directory we're working in, right? So we can go ahead and say home, student, ENR 210, and then that, okay? And that should work. There it is, it worked, okay? But that's a kind of a pain to type over and over again, right? But the whole idea for doing this was to make something short, okay? So another thing we can do is we can use the dot, meaning here, slash, and then bat, and that will do the same thing, okay? So that's a little bit of a shortcut. But what I'd really like to be able to do is to make this into a true command. Kind of like ls is a command, and cat is a command, right? And mv is a command. I want to make bat a command. It's not a command right now. It's something I can do here, right? But it's not just this general thing. So in order for me to do that, I need to move this executable file to someplace else, okay? I have to do it as a super user do, move, bat, let's move bat to user local bin. And now I have to give my password, okay? Because I'm doing something kind of major. So I move it there because it is an executable file. I want it to be a generally available command that I can type to the command line or put in a script, right? And now when I type that, it worked. And this is how people make commands. This is how they do it, okay? Okay, so those steps are important to keep in mind, right? Okay, so this exercise that we just did, this is exercise 3.22 in the book, in the notes. Actually, it's 3.23 as well, so it's both of those things, okay? So just to let you know, one of the things that's coming, we're not going to do it immediately, but later on, you know the name of this class is Computer Aided Measurement, right? We're going to be doing a data collection project where you're going to write a script where you're going to be checking what your battery life is, okay, as it drains, and then just writing that data to a file, okay, because that's data collection, and then we'll be working on graphing that, okay, so you can get an idea of how long it takes for your battery to drain, and then also to charge up. You can do that as well. We'll be doing that today. All right. Okay, this is all the stuff that we're going to be doing today, so I think we're just going to end class now. All right, and we'll see you guys on Thursday. But I think at this point you have enough information that you should be able to do the assignment, okay? And then we'll be having a quiz, like I said, at the end of class on Thursday. Yeah.
Will the quiz be like open to the internet and stuff?
Yes.
Like last time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you for your help with that. Hi there.
The last part, I was kind of confused.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I did
Okay.
wrong.
So let's go through it. You're welcome. Let me move my stuff out of the way. Thank you, Dylan. Are you having trouble getting it to work? Okay.
I think I just didn't, like, when I try to do the mod, I don't know.
Okay.
Like,
Do you, all right, so do,
Well, I wrote down all of the wrong stuff on my notes.
okay, so do LS and let's see what's in your directory right now.
For this place,
Yeah.
just the area under the velocity graph.
Okay.
That was.
So you probably made something called batt, and then let me see what you did. You moved it? Oh, okay. So it looks like here you moved it, because you made a file, right, that had that in, did you check to make sure it had the command inside?
no.
Okay. But it looks like you did move it, right? And then you tried to list it, but it's not there anymore. You moved it to this other place, so you'd have to go there. So do CD, and then space, no, go ahead, CD, space, / USR / local / bin, BIN, okay, and then enter. Okay, and then do LS, and yeah, there it is. Okay, so you do have it there, so it's fine. So you should be able to just type BATT from anywhere now. Yeah, like there, try that. Okay, it says, did you change did you modify the permissions? Did you make it executable? CHMOD + X? Because that changes the permissions. It makes the file executable.
I think I just had to be, like, in this.
Schmod has you misspelled Schmod.
Oh.
I do this, yeah, I call it Schmod, but it's
There you go.
okay. So here's the thing, Elizabeth. Before moving it, like we made the file, right?
Yeah.
And then before moving it, like, and before even trying to use it to make it return what the battery, you have to turn it into basically a command.
Yeah.
Okay, and to do that, you have to make it so that it's executable. Okay, and so that means you change you modify you change the mode of it. Okay, by doing this. CHMOD + X, X meaning executable, and then the name of the file. So it's that.
Okay.
So we did that before moving it.
Yeah, I think I did.
You might have skipped it. You try, yeah. So you have to do it. Yeah, it's better to do it before you move it, and then you test to make sure that it works correctly,
Yeah.
and then you move it. Okay? Does
Yeah.
that help?
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
if you
you.
can watch the video at the end, I mean, I'm still recording actually, and so I'll turn it off though. And that might help you